I don't have that much to say about the Akuma matchup. For the most part, you have to handle it just like every other fireball-based Shoto character. Although, it's actually a little bit easier for Falke than some of the other characters. Just, the most important thing I would point out is don't use Hard Punch very much. This is a matchup where you really want to lay off Hard Punch. But most of Akuma's buttons and attacks you can deal with other ways pretty universally. You don't have to rely on Hard Punch. Hard Punch is useful against his low-medium kick, but that's about it. You want to stand at about this range, which is the range for Kugel and standing hard kick. And then you can whiff punish him universally across the board with medium kick and medium punch. And you can react to his fireballs with Kinonen. And you're still within range to forward dash and to throw. That's the range that you should probably attempt to keep up in this matchup. In terms of other abilities, like Akuma's Air Fireball, Air Fireball isn't really like a big problem. It's not hard for characters to get around this. Basically, it's like if you're really far away, then he can throw ones that are plus on block, like so. But if he throws ones that are closer, then he's definitely minus. So, the air fireball is mainly something that he'll try to do from way farther away, which if you're staying close enough, it shouldn't be a problem. But know that the options that you have available as any character is you can neutral jump it. You can try to meet him in the air before he does anything. You can forward dash under it. And Falke can universally, if anti-air with V-scale, and if he throws the air fireball, it doesn't matter. Because it still negates the fireball and then will anti-air him. So if you're good at anti-airing with the V-scale, then you can go for that. Although if you react to him doing the fireball, you can also throw this out as well. If you're pretty fast. Like so. So going through his normals, a lot of his normals will beat Falke's standing hard punch. So you want to be careful about throwing that out. You want to throw it out. I would honestly recommend holding the hard punch down as your button of choice for charging Kugel in this matchup, because you really don't want to be using a hard punch that much. And also you want to make sure it's not light punch, because you want to have your throw available in case he does EX Demon Flip, so that you can air throw it. Most of his stuff has a pretty similar range about it, so if you see Akuma doing an animation that's not a fireball, you can probably react with medium punch or medium kick. Medium punch is the faster one, so you can whiff punish a lot of his moves, especially both his standing and crouching hard punch with that. And then if you're closer, if you're not whiff punishing things, but if you're closer trying to beat him out of stuff, you probably want to be sticking to light kick, crouching medium kick, and yeah. And then once you're close enough, obviously standing medium punch. Low medium kick is probably the hardest to deal with because that's the thing that will beat out your Kanonan, or sorry, your Kugel. But you still don't want to be relying on standing hard punch because standing hard punch will lose to Akuma his standing hard punch, his crouching hard punch, his crouching medium punch, and his standing medium kick will beat, and his standing medium punch, all of which will beat out Falke's standing hard punch. So. So yeah, Demon Flip is hard. It's hard to deal with. Best options would be Crouching Hard Punch, because it hits the farthest back. Although, I would mostly recommend just going for the air throw, if at all possible. That being said, if you are, say, blocking it on the way up, you will not be able to get out into the air before he can palm strike you down. So the air throw won't work in that situation. If you're blocking it that close, however, you should just walk forwards. And then block low. And that should cover all of his options. I would recommend using the V-Trigger 2 for this matchup, because of certain reasons. So he can, now you don't necessarily, it's not as bad as using V-Trigger 1 against characters with evasive reversals, but if you are, like, misconfirming something into the Panzer, like this, he will be able to punish you for it if he V-reversals, because he'll go over your projectile. And he'll be plus 11 at that point. That being said, you of course have the ability to use the regular one to go underneath him and combo off of it like that.
It's not done. Handle this.
So because of that, I would recommend using, well, actually, he does have the parry, and he does have an invincible anti-air, which would make it difficult to necessarily use the Klinge to go over his fireballs in V-Trigger 2. So, I don't know. It's difficult to say. It's more risky to get hit by Akuma's fireballs than it is to get hit by other characters' fireballs that won't knock you down at certain ranges, so it's hard to say. The drawbacks to using V-Trigger 1 are not that significant. actually, never mind. His Akuma's fireball actually has a surprising amount of recovery. You should be able to, if you're reacting fast enough. You should be able to do the Klinge underneath it, which in V-Trigger 2 you can combo into the Sturm to get a knockdown. Like so. But you should also be able to land the Klinge outright because his on reaction to his fireballs. Like so. You gotta be pretty fast to do that. I don't know. Most of everything else is just comes down to Akuma being really strong and all of his options not really mattering that much about which character he's fighting against. Like his really good pressure with his crushing medium punch, and his counter hit confirms, his crush counters, his damage output. All of that, it doesn't really matter which character he's fighting against. You just sort of have to eat it. But you can at least make it easier for yourself by knowing how to deal with his fireballs in neutral, doing a lot of standing gunshot against him, and doing more roundhouse, and not doing standing hard punch as much. Standing hard punch will get you killed in this matchup.